Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Michael Stanley. Thank you so much for joining us. Just into the newsroom, a 16-year-old girl missing from Sylvania was located safely. According to the Lucas County Sheriff, Jasmine Kumpian went missing from the intersection of Brent and McCord this past Thursday. Officials say she wasn't wearing any shoes or a coat when she went missing, which concerned her family and law enforcement given how cold it's been. But earlier today, officials confirmed that Jasmine has been found safely. Toledoan Eric Mish spent 26 years behind bars for a 1992 murder. And for those 26 years, Mish told anyone who would listen he had nothing to do with the killing. And now today, he no longer has the murder on his record because a judge granted him a new trial. Then, last month, the prosecutor's office dropped all charges. For the first time, Mish is discussing his legal journey with lead investigator Brian Duggar.
December 9th. 1993. 17-year-old Eric Mish stood before a jury. Did he help kill a man in Toledo's Wilson Park? The jury gave its answer, guilty.
Honestly, everything went numb. Everything was like, I guess it was like you can't hear nothing, or, you're just standing there like, I didn't know how to react. I went up to the floor and started crying. Back to my cell.
November 25th, 2024. 48-year-old Eric Mish stood before Judge Gary Cook. The murder charge dropped as if it never happened.
It's a big burden off my shoulders. I feel like it's like really a breath, like I can finally breathe, and I don't have to go and say, I don't have to ask a parole officer, can I leave the state, or, it's just, I want to be able to take my wife somewhere. And
for 26 years, Eric Mish lost his freedom. Police said he and 4 friends beat up and killed Vernon Huggins. Someone mentioned his name to police. Detectives told the then 16-year-old that they knew he was involved. He quit fighting. He confessed.
I was scared. I didn't know what else to do, honestly.
Were you thinking, if I confess, this will all go away?
I just wanted to get it over with. I came home, I went upstairs, was crying. I remember my baby brother coming up, what's wrong? And I told him, I said, I did something wrong, and he goes, well, you got to tell the truth. I said, I know. And that's what happened, and then I got charged.
While police were grilling Mish, they were also receiving Crime Stopper tips. One said Huggins was in a bar with a man who killed a woman the night he died. Another said Huggins was confronted by his girlfriend's family over a robbery. One family member carried a heavy table leg, similar to the murder weapon. His uncle told police all about it. None of it was told to defense attorneys or even prosecutors. The Wrongful Conviction Project found it through record requests.
There's one specific document that I think was, the most shocking and the most impactful. And I remember getting to that and, am I reading this right? And I messaged my co-counsel, like, am I reading this right? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing?
It was a police interview with the uncle.
And that uncle described the events just hours before of Vernon coming to his home. While he was there, he was confronted by 3 individuals. The uncle was able to describe them. They did not match Eric. They did not match any of Eric's co-defendants.
In late 2020, Jay Gast, an investigator for the prosecutor, turned over additional evidence he found to the state to be tested. A bottle near Huggins contained the DNA of a known acquaintance, not Mish or his friends.
I think anyone who looks at that evidence knows how important it is. And, the state, the prosecution, they have an obligation to give evidence like that over to the defense, and that did not happen here. I wasn't there. I can't say why that evidence didn't make it to the prosecutor's office or why that evidence didn't make it to the defense team.
As the legal battles played out, Mish fought to survive.
I worked a lot, worked maintenance, worked in the kitchen. I got my associate's degree from Findlay University. I went through my anger part during the first part of my years, like frustration and angry about being there. But that's not it's not going to be helpful. You're just going to be miserable the whole time. I mean, you just got to find other things to take your mind off it.
In 2020, he was paroled to a different prison, a prison with no walls, society's perceptions. He was a free man, but a convicted killer.
I've had people tell me they were going to hire me, do my background check, because, you know, they'll ask, oh, you got a felony older than 7 or 10 years? Of course, I got a felony older than that. Oh, we're not worried about it. And then when they find out what it is, oh, we're sorry, we can't.
But in 2023, Mish began to reclaim his life. His attorneys presented the newfound evidence in court. 6 months ago, Judge Cook gave him a new trial. Last month, the prosecutors gave up their fight. The lead detective is dead. The others involved don't remember. The fight is over, but some scars will never be repaired. So you had a child before you went into prison?
She was born while I was in prison. I was not able to be her father.
So what's it like now?
Still waiting. That was a main goal in my life, was to be a father.
Our system is flawed. It's not perfect. Mistakes happen.
I just hope that people can keep faith in themselves, that they're truly innocent, and they know they are. Just keep faith, have faith in God.
That was Brian Duggar reporting. Eric Mish is the first convicted killer in Lucas County to be exonerated. 4 of his friends, Joseph Rickard, Louis Castilla, Mel Vasquez, and Larry Vasquez, are now fighting to clear their names, and their prosecutors is not resisting the efforts. We'll keep you updated as we follow their cases. Stanley is recalling one of its popular travel cups. The company is recalling 2.6 million of its switchback and trigger action travel mugs. The Consumer Product Safety Commission warns the lids can detach and cause users to burn themselves on hot liquid. Regulators say there have been 38 burn injuries worldwide. If you have one, you're urged to contact Stanley for a replacement. Wherever you go for the holiday, health experts are reminding people that it's peak respiratory virus season here in the Buckeye State. Officials with the state's Department of Health say Ohio is seeing an increase in cases of RSV, the flu, and COVID-19. They say if you haven't already, now is the time to get those seasonal vaccines.
Data continues to show that vaccination lowers the risk of COVID-19 infection, hospitalization, and death. It also can reduce the risk of developing what is known as long COVID.
Other steps to keep you safe include washing your hands often and covering your mouth when coughing. They add if you aren't feeling well or showing signs of illness, just stay home. A child in California is now believed to have contracted bird flu after drinking raw milk. Health officials say the child drank contaminated milk and later experienced symptoms like fever and vomiting. They suspect it's due to bird flu. The child is now recovered and no other family members became sick. Health officials say the risk to the public remains low, but discourage any raw milk consumption. Landlords, listen up. A mandate under consideration by Toledo City Council would put more pressure on property owners to make sure homes are taken care of during evictions. Silver Barker has the details.
This is currently the view folks who live on this street in South Toledo say they wake up and see every day for the past month. And it's on both sides of the street.
This is a very unacceptable, for us. I'm very disturbed by, coming out and seeing this every day.
Monique Brown, a Toledo resident, says not only is it upsetting to look at, but she also worries it could lead to injury.
Hope it be picked up by next week, because it seems like when people ride by, they come and just throw extra garbage. They feel like it's a garbage can. And I just feel like they need to come and do something about it immediately.
Another resident who didn't want to be on camera says it's attracting unwanted guests.
We've seen rats and cats and just terrible. Like my grandkids come over here to play and I'm not trying for them to get, you know what I mean? So.
And in an area only a 10-minute drive away, it's the same issue. Nick Comives with the City of Toledo says this comes from landlords who've recently evicted tenants.
Landlords, property managers have a responsibility, of course, to empty the place out, but they empty it out and just put the trash on the street, and it's unacceptable.
While Public Services is typically responsible for bulk pickup when move-outs like this happen, Comives tells me there are ways the trash must be bagged and thrown out in order for them to pick it up. That then leaves urban beautification with the city to pick up the mess, taking them away from the things they're supposed to do, such as leaf collection. Comives says he's thinking of implementing a new city regulation to combat this trash issue.
Sure, we're going to look at things like perhaps requiring a dumpster during an eviction, maybe making sure that the landlord is responsible for just not leaving it on the curb, but instead taking it directly to the landfill.
Reporting in South Toledo, Silver Barker, WTOL 11.
Want to see more breakdowns of viral trends and 60-second stories? Check out our WTOL 11 social media pages on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. John?
Well, keep the umbrella handy because there is going to be more rain that rolls in and impacts those Monday plans. Checking in on your WTOL 11 weather forecast, more rain is going to be most likely during the afternoon time frame. It is going to be a rainy, mild, and breezy day with temperatures up in the mid-50s, but you likely won't be able to enjoy it without that umbrella, especially late in the day. Temperatures currently in the 40s over the course of your Sunday evening. A little bit of fog has developed on the horizon, so keep in mind a few areas of patchy fog may persist overnight as a result of the moisture from the rainfall today. Over the course of the early evening, conditions have been fairly clear across Lucas and Wood counties. It's mainly southeastern Michigan from Hillsdale back towards Lenawee counties where there is a higher probability for seeing some fog. The last of the rain showers are now moving off into eastern Ohio. Still a few lingering showers in areas like Seneca County up towards Fremont, Sandusky, and Norwalk. But overall, those are quickly fading away and moving off to the east as the bulk of the precipitation slides into eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. We do get a brief pause on the rainfall, but there is going to be additional rain chances, especially late in the day on Monday. That bus stop and commute forecast could include a little bit of patchy fog, so factor in a couple of extra minutes tomorrow out the door at temperatures in the mid-40s. The afternoon, the weather impact shifts from fog to rainy weather. Highs are going to be up in the mid-50s with a feel that is more characteristic of early springtime than late December. Let's first of all talk visibility, and then we'll get into that hour-by-hour rainfall forecast. Again, the chance for fog most likely north and west of Lucas County could already develop late this evening through about midnight. Overnight tonight, patchy fog possible, but you'll notice most of northwest Ohio is going to be A-OK with visibility problems most prevalent in southeast Michigan. Hour-by-hour rainfall forecast does show you that wave of rain that we saw today moving off into Pennsylvania and New York. Most of northwest Ohio and southeast Michigan do dry out, although a few areas of fog and drizzle may be possible overnight tonight. Our attention then turns to the west because there is another round of showers brewing as a cold front moves on through. Ahead of that front, it's going to be a mild and breezy day with temperatures in the mid-50s. Rain chances really start to become widespread by the middle of the day. Here's a snapshot of 1 o'clock p.m., seeing steady and soaking rain that will continue through the early afternoon. By dinner time and sunset, the rain's going to be moving off to the east, leaving us with a bit more mud and a few more puddles after 2 days straight of rainfall. So how much additional rain can you expect? Latest data shows a quarter to half an inch of rainfall, with the heaviest amounts across northwest Ohio in areas like Bryan, Defiance, and Napoleon, picking up around half an inch of rainfall. The amounts look to be just a little bit less in southeastern Michigan, but still over a quarter of an inch of rain, and that is adding on to the rain that we've already received throughout the course of the day today. So how much rain have you gotten in your rain gauge? Many areas have picked up close to an inch, including Bowling Green, Defiance, and Toledo, with the Toledo Metro picking up around 3/4 of an inch, lighter amounts in Hillsdale, and about 2/3 of an inch of rainfall in Fremont. Your Monday forecast, in addition to the patchy fog and the showers, the bright side is the mild feel will be at 55 degrees and it will be breezy. Check out those afternoon temps surging to the mid-50s with a few spots to the south into the upper 50s. Over the next 4 days, calmer and quieter, dry